What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a prospect out of Alabama. This is Terrell Lewis. We're going to talk about him because the Detroit Lions apparently hit this man up on the phone. We're going to talk about what they said to him, and we're going to talk about if this guy could be a realistic draft option for the Detroit Lions. So let's get it started. Everyone, so welcome into the video. I'm not sure if you guys know about Terrell Lewis or not. We don't talk about him a ton. There's a very big reason for that, but Terrell Lewis is usually a guy I don't take in mock drafts. However, he is a very talented player. So I'm not sure if you guys know who this is, but he's projected to go second round right now. He's an edge rusher out of Alabama, and yeah, this is a very good player with a few big concerns, and that's the reason I usually stay away from him. We'll get to those in a second. But basically, I guess the Detroit Lions called him because, you know, he was talking about this. I think he told Peter King this, but he was talking about this, Terrell Lewis was, and he talked about what the Detroit Lions asked him. He said they talked about scheme, they talked about film, they talked about his journey to get to Alabama. They talked about like how he would fit in the defense, which I think, you know, there's a very good way that he could fit in this defense. I mean, the Detroit Lions play a lot of linebackers. They want versatile linebackers. I think that's why Devon Kennard is gone. This is a guy that can play, to me, both inside and outside, like the Devon Kennard role, but also an inside linebacker that can go back and forth, can change things up, can play on different downs. But this is a pure pass rusher. I mean, that's what he is. And again, he went to Alabama, so he played tons of talent. But one thing is, they asked him about his money, and I think that's what everybody's kind of talking about right now. They asked him, you know, how he's going to take care of it, how he's going to manage his money, get to know them very well, and have a good relationship there, which is huge. It's huge to have that nice relationship. So yeah, the Detroit Lions asked him about how he would manage his money, which is okay. I mean, you know what? This is crazy. It reminds me of the movie I watched called Draft Day. Someone said that movie was trash.
Dang. That's tough.
And I was like, all right, well, it could be, or I'm just hyped for the draft. I really don't know. I don't know which one it was, but I do know this is that yes, they're definitely talking to him, and he went out and told everybody about it, kind of like probably a virtual visit type of thing. It could have been like that. I guess the Packers also had a virtual visit with him. But let's talk about him a little bit. Let's talk about who Terrell Lewis is, why I'm concerned to take him, but at the same time, why he could be a very good draft pick. So Terrell Lewis is a 6'5", 262-pound edge rusher. Let's stop right there. 262 pounds at 6'5" at the linebacker position is a big dude. We've talked about a couple guys like AJ Epinesa, Yetur Gross-Matos. Those are guys, that's like that size. However, I think Terrell Lewis has way more versatility than those guys. I feel like AJ Epinesa, Yetur Gross-Matos are either going to be on the D-line or they're playing specifically that Devon Kennard role. They may not be great at it because they're not the fastest players in the world, the most athletic like Terrell Lewis. I think Lewis would be more of a quicker kind of Devon Kennard role, but I think he can also play different positions. However, I don't see Lewis playing on the D-line. I mean, Kennard did a little bit. I don't know if he'd do that. I mean, he could. He definitely could, but I don't think that'd be his role with the Detroit Lions. But yeah, he definitely has the size. You know, we talk about it all the time. Bob Quinn wants to get those linebackers with size. Well, Terrell Lewis does have size. So if that's what they're looking for, then yeah, this may be the guy to go with. However, like I talked about before, there's one very, very big concern. There's actually two big concerns, and those are two injuries that he has had. Terrell Lewis has missed tons of time. He actually missed his entire 2018 season with an injury. In 2018 season, he had tore his ACL in the summer. So he missed the entire season. We know ACL is not something to play around with. Actually, it was listed as like the whole word for it. I don't even know what it's, I can't even like pronounce the whole word for ACL. And I was reading it. I was like, what in the world is that? I was trying to think. I'm like, okay, is that on his leg, his arm? Like, what does that mean? Looked it up. It said ACL. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I know what that is. I didn't know what the whole word is. I've never seen the whole word like that before. Like, who does that? Anyways, that's very concerning. We know the ACL tear is very concerning for every position in sports because it's something that I think a lot of people think can come back. It's just very concerning, right? It's a big injury, a major injury. Obviously, if you miss an entire season, the recovery time, from what I've looked up, is approximately 9 months. So that's why he missed the entire season. Definitely not something to play around with. He also had another injury that he had to deal with where he missed 4 games due to an elbow injury. I don't think that one's as serious, but again, it still is an injury. I don't think it's as serious, though. The ACL one concerns me because I feel like that one can continue to come back. We know we drafted Austin Bryant, and Austin Bryant had that injury, and I was trying to think of, okay, maybe the Detroit Lions are looking at Terrell Lewis as one of those guys like Austin Bryant. Here was my thought, okay? Here's my thought process. I'm looking at him, and I'm saying this. Austin Bryant was one of those guys that we got later in the draft. You know, I think he was a 4th-round pick, and we took him, and not a lot of people knew about him, but he really fell off because, 1, he was in a very good Clemson defense, in the Alabama defense, and 2, he had to deal with some injuries, a torn pectoral muscle. He had to deal with some injuries, right? So he fell down the board, we think he did, and we got a steal. I guess we got a steal in the 4th round, but with a lot of injury concerns, right? The injury concerns that really would come up here. For me personally, I don't know if this is going to be a guy the Lions take at 35. Now, I definitely could see why they would. I don't know if they would, though, because of the injuries. At least it does concern me because you got to think, last year, that was a lot of the blame, and a lot of people want to put the blame on, oh, yeah, we were hurt all last season. So you're going to go draft someone that missed it an entire year with an injury, missed 4 games with another injury. That's literally what he's known for, is being hurt. I mean, he's got the big high potential, but the injuries are so concerning. It's like, do we really want to bring in another guy like that? Maybe we should just bring in someone healthy. However, Terrell Lewis checks the boxes of having the size, playing against extremely good competition. You know, if you go to Alabama, you're going to find starters. You find a lot of starters from Alabama. I mean, that's just the top of the class, right? I mean, you see these other guys with great production, Curtis Weaver, Boise State, Bradley and okay, but it's like, he went to Alabama. I mean, at some point, you don't even look at the stats as much, and you're just like, wow. I mean, he's got the technique. He played for one of the best coaches in college football. They put out so much talent every year. How could we not look at a guy like this? And, maybe if he came off as a good player, that's something that they're willing to take. If it's a good character, maybe that's something they're willing to risk. And I'm going to talk about why I could see the Lions going after this guy. So, yes, the size is a huge one. Also, his ability to blitz the inside. I mean, he just looks more versatile than a guy like Devon Kennard was. And I think he's more versatile than A.J. Epinesa and Yuta Gross-Matos if he wants to be used more as a linebacker specifically and not much on the D-line. This could definitely be the option. Lions would be adding some speed here with tons of size, all right, with tons of size. He has a crazy potential. I mean, he has that potential that you look at and you say, okay, that's untapped. Kind of like Austin Bryant was when we talked about it. This guy has it. It's sitting there. Can we take it from him? Can we get that potential out of him? And also, can he stay healthy? Because if he can't stay healthy, I mean, sure, everybody deals with injuries here and there. It happens. But if you can't stay healthy at all, then it's just a waste of a pick. And you're taking it very early, knowing this season you have to win right now. Are you willing to take that risk on a guy that has been injured or not, right? I'm sure they even talked about that. I mean, he may not have brought it up, but I'm sure they even talked about that. Wouldn't surprise me. He's a highlight player. He makes big plays at big times. Flashes every once in a while. Every once in a while, he'll flash on your screen. He played against, again, great competition with one of the best coaches, a team that puts out talent year in and year out. And I could see this guy as more of an option if the Detroit Lions were able to acquire a second round pick or a second first round pick. If they were able to trade back and acquire something like that, because like I said, their needs to me are guard, corner, and pass rusher. If the Detroit Lions are able to trade back and acquire more picks, or even if they don't, honestly, they could go, with Isaiah Simmons or Chase Young. There's their pass rusher. Maybe in the 3rd round, 4th round, they go lineman, and then you go cornerback mid-round, or maybe they go Kuda first round. There's definitely different ways to do it, but especially if the Lions trade back and acquire more picks, this could be a risk the Lions are willing to take because they know that, hey, if he's not healthy, we at least got another pick in this round that we can get someone that is healthy, okay? So I know they need a pass rusher and that this guy has the potential, he has a technique, he played for a great team. The injury concerns are really all it is. If there was no injuries here, his production would look a lot better. In 2019, in 10 games played, he had 21 solo tackles, 11.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks. The production's pretty dang good. I mean, it's not outstanding, but again, it's for Alabama. I mean, Alabama's like consistently the closest thing you're going to get to an NFL team, and I know that sounds crazy, but they're the most consistent college team that we've seen in a long time. I can't remember a time Alabama wasn't good. Like, what? Every year they're good, and it doesn't mean they're going to win a championship. They do most years, but it doesn't mean they will. They're like the Patriots of college football, but they're still going because they didn't lose Tom Brady. It's crazy. Like, this team every year is going to be very good, and they put out crazy talent. But again, you got to keep in mind, okay, what does he have around him? He has Raekwon Davis, all right? He has tons of talent around him as well. Trayvon Diggs in the secondary, Xavier McKinney. So it's like one of those things where, if you look at his prospect grade, he's expected to be a starter within 2 seasons. That's great. It's really just injuries to me. Are the Lions willing to risk that injury? I could see the Lions doing this to say, okay, if this guy falls down because of his injuries to say 3rd round, we'll jump on it. Or late second, if you have a late second, we may jump on it just to try to make it happen, going off of that potential and who he played for and that we think he could come in and be ready. Because sometimes you get guys from the smaller schools, they're not ready because they haven't played that competition, right? Maybe they're D2, maybe they don't play a lot of bigger competition, and they're just not ready for the NFL game. Usually Alabama players are ready to go, so that's kind of what the thought is here. So again, if he falls a little bit, but I'd be shocked if the Lions took him at 35 and they didn't have extra picks in the 2nd or 1st round, because now you're putting a lot of faith into a guy that has dealt with 2 major injuries. So I don't know if they will. Potential is there, size is there, speed is there. Everything the Lions want in a linebacker is there and an edge rusher. The problem is the injuries, and I don't know if you'd be willing to risk it or not. I would be shocked if the Lions did it again at 35 if they don't acquire more picks. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you go this route? I think, man, the potential is there. We have not seen it yet. We have not seen what he can do. At the same time, I don't know if we'll ever get to see it. Hopefully we do. Hopefully he stays healthy. We'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you take a chance on him? Thank you for watching, and I'm out.